they're ipso facto parties. So in this case, since they're complying, any decision made by the International Court of Justice, if they don't comply with the decision, the Security Council can actually take military or any of the force to make them comply.
You're right, but there's one point that I don't want you to gloss over, which is even though you're parties to the United Nations and that makes you parties to the statute of the ICJ, unless you sign the optional protocol, you are not going to be called just before the court. There has to be a jurisdictional basis. Jurisdiction is sort of the ability of the court to hear the dispute. So just because you're, ipso facto party to the ICJ statute doesn't mean that that's the independent ground for Australia to have brought a case against Japan. It would have needed some other ground. For example, if it was using the Convention on Whaling and the dispute settlement clause says all disputes go to the ICJ, that could have been one basis for jurisdiction.
Because it invoked Article 36 and 40. It had actually multiple, and it used the rules of the court also. So it had like 3 or 4 instances where it used different things to make them come before the court. Now only one. So I guess, yeah, that makes sense too.
Yep. Parties can sometimes agree that they will take a dispute. It's called a compromise. When we say like, you and I are disputing between our states, why don't we just take it to the ICJ and resolve it? That could be a jurisdictional basis done sort of ad hoc. And then sometimes through the declaration.
One point that I was hoping you could touch on, and because it's especially relevant for this case, is the issue of reservations. One of the, as you guys we kind of discussed it already, one of the articles that Australia is claiming that Japan is violating has a very strict reservation that Japan filed with regards to one specific kind of whale, which is, I think, the article of the sanctuary that talks about the Southern Ocean Sanctuary. They made a reservation for the specific kind of whale, the minke whale, to which it would not apply. So if you could just, I know reservations is a super complex topic, but just maybe touch upon it a little bit so that they have a better understanding of the whole process, how a reservation works, what effects does it have for the parties, how does it, if there's a dispute that arises out of a reservation, how is it solved, and all of that.
Okay.
Go ahead. One really quick thing. The article you're talking about, something B, where it says that the Southern Ocean Sanctuary, right, about the minke whales, I think I read somewhere that Japan tried to file for a special permission to hunt down the minke whales further. I'm not sure if they filed for something of that sort.
I'm not
I mean, I don't
familiar.
think that came up in any of our preparations.
No.
I don't think it was case.
I don't, yeah.
Okay, well, I'm not aware of this point. So reservations under international law, their validity and their status